All right, Capricorn, welcome to your monthly horoscope for April of 2015. My name is Athen. Okay, so we have a transitional month, I would call it, here in April, coming out of a very transformational month of March. We had the Uranus Pluto Square gone exact. We had a lot of the fast-moving planets going over Uranus and the solar eclipse last month. But this month, the early part, the first 7 days or so of this month, is a transition. We still had the energies of last month where we had the Sun going over Uranus and then Mercury going over Uranus as well, not to mention a lunar eclipse on the 4th. So this first part of the month, definitely finishing some things up in regards to that transformation, which for you has to do with your teaching, writing, sharing, communicating. These are the third house changes you've had with Uranus in that third house, and the spiritual changes that are happening with you. With Pluto transiting your 12th, maybe working behind the scenes, things changing there, maybe with your psychology, things changing there. Whatever it is, your spiritual essence, your internal essence has been changing with Pluto. And so we're going to continue to see that here for the first 10 days. And it all starts on the 4th when we have the lunar eclipse in Virgo, which is your 9th house. So back in October, if you guys started something new in relation to maybe some travel, some long distance matters, your life path, going off into a new journey, anything relating to philosophy or spirituality, we're coming up to the full moon energy here now this month in relation to those things, because you had the solar eclipse there in your 10th, so you may have saw it as you going off into a new journey in relation to your work or your career or anything on that public level. But it was, it could be a culmination of that also in terms of that, but also culmination in terms of your philosophy, because the full moon is actually taking place in that 9th house. So it's a full moon in relation to, it's lunar eclipse of your philosophy, spiritual studies, the higher elements of life, expansion, and your overall life path unfolding. So around the 4th, I would really reflect and just see, because it's that solar eclipse energy, how your life has unfolded over the past 6 months in relation to those things. And I think that's where you can get the most out of it and see the abundance, see the creation that has taken place since then. Maybe it's not exactly the way you envisioned it, because our life, we're not in charge of the details, but I think that there's definitely a life path transition there. And I think there's another life path transition with every eclipse there is, and so with this lunar eclipse there is too, but it's going to come from a lot of this understanding and seeing from a spiritual level, right? The eclipse is all spiritual. On a spiritual level, how you've been perhaps improving these areas with the eclipse in Virgo, improving the work, improving the 9th house activities, the philosophy, the spiritual studies, astrology, anything else that's relating to those types of things relating to wisdom, basically. So that's going to be a good start of the month, seeing that. And that's going to create, a new energy too. But for the next few days after that, we're still finishing up and letting go of some old stuff. We've got the Sun going over Uranus in that 3rd house. So freeing yourself, I think this month is a lot lighter, let me just say that, from last month, because the orb between Uranus and Pluto is not nearly as exact. Now the Sun going over Uranus is really illuminating this. I think we can see our freedom. See how you can be yourself when it comes to your communication or sharing or thinking or writing or whatever it is you might be involved with in that 3rd house. Whatever's changing there. On a fundamental level, it's that your guys' consciousness is changing. And so with the Sun, that really illuminates things, it helps you express yourself, and I think that's going to be a good start of the month when you let go of, again, some of those old notions and things that are just no longer serving you in relation to that 3rd house. Then and one thing too is you're also balancing that with the changes that are happening on that spiritual level, you see. So you don't want to go to any extremes either with just going so far into the spiritual stuff that it's not grounded in reality, because 3rd house is grounded in practical reality. You want to make sure that whatever the spiritual stuff you're coming into is nice and grounded. And again, it may not be something tangible, but you want to make it so. You want to make it into a concept. You want to ground it in either thought or writing or communication in some way. So if you do that, I think you'll get the most out of this. Now on the 7th and 8th, we have Mercury then going over Uranus, which is an objective understanding, a rational understanding of those 3rd house matters. So here, it's seeing how, all these things I talked about with your freedom and understanding, again, grounding in a very tangible, realistic way. So it's putting it into practice, I would say, is definitely the key there. And I think 7th and 8th, you can really learn a lot when you look at your life, when you look at these things, especially the spirituality and communication and thinking. during that time, I think you'll learn the most from that, and that can be something that you can definitely take with you into this month and beyond, because like I said, the solar eclipse was the beginning of the next 6 months. So what we're doing now is we're still learning about these things. We're starting to get that energy moving in relation to these new beginnings. And a lot of it's learning through experience. So very nice energy there. Then on the 8th, we have the Jupiter going station direct in your 7th house. So you guys have had Jupiter in your 7th house since about the middle part of last year. And so maybe you've seen it, not recently perhaps since December, but if you looked prior to December, late second part of last year, maybe you can see all the abundance that's been around you in relationships, maybe new relationships, existing relationships, just lots of opportunities for you to maybe meet people, socialize, maybe do some things with sales or with business, things like this. So now with Jupiter going station direct, what you may have been reflecting on with these things since December, or rehashing or reworking, will start to move forward again for you for the remainder of the first half of this year, up until the summertime. So use this time, and as the energy unfolds, it'll become much more apparent, much more extroverted, external in terms of this abundance. But see those abundance in your relationships with those 7th house matters, and then ground them, make them into something, because Jupiter by itself is just possibilities. We have to take the grounded element of Saturn to make those possibilities into reality, but those opportunities will be there nonetheless. Now on the 11th, we've got Mercury going into Aries, which is really nice. So that's going to be an energy of really understanding a lot of your emotional side of life. The 4th house is really activated for you, where Mercury is going into for you. We have the new moon there. We have the sun transiting there. We've got Mars still in there. So a lot of this energy, I think you guys are very motivated by home or family, or the sentimental aspects of life, or your past in some way, or your emotions are really driving you. So that's really fantastic. Use that, because there's new beginnings shaping up around here. It could be new beginnings with home, with family, these types of things. And with Mercury going into here between the 11th and the 27th, you can understand it. I think you'll be thinking a lot about home, family, the things that are close to your heart, close to your feelings. And that's where you can really apply these things and maybe spend time there and learn through experience in regards to those 4th house matters. On the 12th, we've got Mars sextiling up to Neptune. Again, opportunities with home, family. But this could be coming from, maybe learning how taking what you've learned about going with the flow when it comes to either your finances or your sense of self-worth or self-reliance, with Neptune transiting that 2nd house. But in either case, an opportunity there, maybe with the financial, self-reliant side of things, or maybe with the home and family side of things. But in either case, it's a nice aspect between these two planets in your 12th house. On the 12th. On the 14th, we've got the sun going into Aries. So mid-month onward for the next 30 days, enjoy home. Enjoy family. Enjoy those things that are really close to your heart and the sentimental side of things. The sun's going to be exalted in Aries too, which is a beautiful place for you guys in that 4th house, really illuminating these parts of your life, which is important to you, right? So enjoy those things. Maybe get creative in those areas at home, with family, with your past, however you see that, whatever that is manifesting for you. And I think you'll be getting the most out of it. That's where you're gaining your vital life force energy from mid-month onward, is through home, family, and your past. Maybe, whether it's this life past or past life past too. This is connecting to your soul also. 15th and 16th, we have Venus opposite up to Saturn, so there is a balancing element needed this month, especially, particularly just the middle part of this month, between your 5th house, where Venus has been transiting, and your 11th house, where Saturn's been transiting. So first of all, this whole month from the 6th onward, Venus is going to be in your 5th house. So I think this month you can really enjoy your self-expression, enjoy these creative things, enjoy being yourself. And there's a lot of this attention here when you're doing that on self. So you just want to make sure you're balancing that with a lot of the things you've been taking seriously in terms of your giving and contribution, and being a part of something or doing something that's greater than self. That's the 11th house, basically, where Saturn's been transiting. So you're still reflecting on these things now with Saturn still retrograde, thinking about the contribution, the ideals, the visions, but whatever it is, ground those things larger than self with yourself, with the things you're enjoying this month. On the 17th, we have Mars squaring up to Jupiter. which is an energy that is right next to the new moon on the 18th. So normally with the squaring from Jupiter and Mars, it's about big plans, big goals. But with the new moon energy, I want to say that it's a subtle period of new beginnings. So you want to use this time as a reflective time. It's not really a time of jumping into action. And that might be what the square is about, is not rushing into anything. So use the time, 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th, to reflect on these new beginnings relating to your home, family, past roots, where you're going to have this new beginning. I think you're going to be feeling very optimistic. So just reflect around that time, channel that optimism into a clear understanding of your overall life path. And then on the 21st and 22nd, we have a lot of energy. The full moon starts to get into its crescent phase, so it gains momentum. And then Mercury goes over Mars while Mars trines up to Pluto. So Mars trining up to Pluto is very powerful. And then you add Mercury to the mix is a very good understanding. And all of this is happening in your 4th house, 21st and 22nd. So if you're thinking about doing anything like changing locations, maybe, I don't know, doing something with family, that's part of your goals, your plans, something like this, a good time to start putting energy into it. 21st and 22nd, very powerful time. If it is productive, you can do a lot there, get a lot done. You can also understand a lot about it with Mercury as well. Now, the tail end of this month on the 26th and 29th in particular, there's some opportunities. We have Venus sextiling up to Uranus and the Sun sextiling up to Neptune. So in terms of the 26th, I think there might be some opportunities here for you to express yourself some more, to enjoy life some more. It could be a new opportunity to express yourself out of nowhere or to create something, you know, out of nowhere. On the 26th, a nice surprise or something exciting there. So enjoy those self-expression things. 26th, definitely. 29th, also self-expression, but coming from the 4th house. So 29th, see those opportunities in relation to the home, family, all these things as well. It's a sextile. These are opportunities. We can choose or choose not to entertain them. But they're usually things that benefit us in our life path, and they're just doors opening, but we got to walk through them. On the 27th, kind of sandwiched in between there, we have Mercury going into Taurus, where Mercury is going to continue transiting that 5th house for the next few weeks. So I think naturally, while you're enjoying expression and creativity and all these 5th house matters, I think naturally from the 27th onward, you'll just start to think about these things more. And that's leading you into May, where a lot more about 5th house is going to come about for you in May. All right, Capricorn, we'll have a fantastic month. Thanks for watching. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Do check out the daily and weekly horoscopes. If you'd like a personal reading, please get in touch. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will talk to you next time. Take care.